Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Hello, I'm Neha. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. I'm a Novelty Dicemaker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
A normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. I don't make normal dice. Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. But also barrel dice and teetotum bowls. Ah, yes, Fortress Accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. That's a classic, yes. A standard role-playing die with plan motifs. Now, for the material, most of my customers opt for an exotic wood. For this, I would suggest Elysium snake wood. No need to rush. Take a look around, see if anything inspires you. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. I think I have just the right one for you. You're a police officer, right? Here, catch. They're a gift from me. Right, that one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken. It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. You definitely need luck in Martinez. Here, catch. They're a gift from me. Ah, down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary. You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else? What are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. Think of them as your lucky charm, officer. I see that. Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice. How else can I help you then?
Anything else, officer? A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet, to complement your magnetic personality? What do you mean by cursed? All right, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die. All right, maybe some other die then? Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? 10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours. Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else? It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do. How about an amber die? Who told you amber was cheap? It's beautiful, really, and has been treasured since the ancient times. For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results. Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect. I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I can only produce 1 die per customer.
Oh, it's you again. Did you try knocking on my window before? Are you looking for a die? You're back. Did you decide what kind of die you want? As you wish. Till next time.
How can I help you, officer? I don't do orders on credit. Come back when you have the full amount. This was an especially fun set to make. One universal die for Wirral Untethered. Here's the cursed die you ordered. One standard Wirral role-playing die. Here's your amber die. It's a die. Try rolling it. Wait, you're not scared, are you? Officer, you don't actually think I put a spell on it, do you? I'm not a witch, you know. We live in a rational world. There is no black magic. You're right. The spell is terrible indeed. But I didn't curse the die. I don't believe in curses. So now I'm a witch too? Rhymes well with the whole me being a culprit theme. It's a sphere pretending to be a six-sided die. Each roll will end with one of the phrases facing up. The die originates in Ilmara, where it was used for cleromancy. Good. Now roll again, detective. Why? You're not scared, officer, are you? I'm not a witch, mister, and neither is this die cursed. We live in a rational world. There is no black magic, right? But it isn't cursed, honestly. I'll tell you what it does. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. Oh boy, the fabled Revo Show ICT. You're in for a treat here. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful. Yeah, the Attila didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far. Really? Anyway, and, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean. You did what? Really? You broke it? What a shame. It was a terrifying beast, but I was fond of it. But Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house. Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. No, officer, I don't have a vision beast. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. What? I don't, officer. You should stay away from drugs and vision beast. Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Do you? Well, good luck keeping it under control. I can see. The stripes. I can see. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing. Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravashow ICT. It didn't. Occasionally the girls had their friends over, which doubled the amount of hairspray, skin problems, and mood swings behind the counter. Yeah, some people spend their whole lives chasing the hot one. You should have joined the gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the stand, ready to scare off customers and hit on the girls. Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. Eventually, Ravashow Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Normal people don't have vision beasts. Only drug-addled madmen like the taxidermists do. Right. Neckties? I guess they do sometimes, officer. But I don't understand how it's relevant to our discussion. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherian. That bear was one mighty mammal. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherian. Oh, I totally understand. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherian. I believe the ICP got them. They have a special division that deals exclusively with sub-roses. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. An accident? I wouldn't know anything about that. I just heard they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Money and time, the usual. The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. And to show up to work on time. Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings. Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game. Why would Slipstream SCA have a 100-year-old recording as their doorbell message? Doesn't make any sense. Excuse me, what are you doing? Didn't we already talk about this? What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10. This doesn't make any sense. No, I don't feel hot. We're in a derelict smokestack. If anything, then it's cold here. Can you please employ this special technique somewhere else? I work here and my work requires concentration. Half-naked people don't help with that. Undressing in a stranger's place of business? Yes, it was an unbelievably bad idea. And why would you do that? Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Except I've weighted the die. When you try rolling it, you realize that each time it gets you exactly the same result. God is indifferent. This is our curse. In the face of death? No, not really. You were the one who asked for a cursed die. It is, isn't it? There's something liberating about knowing it's just we humans. No all-powerful force is guiding us, watching us, judging us. You don't? Yes, but how will mankind last? Don't answer that, actually. Meaning is whatever you want to make of it. That's the nature of meaning. Good luck, officer. No, I don't have another die. You'll have to do with this one. Sorry, I don't have another one ready. You were the one who asked for a cursed die. I guess you can find some temporary solace in that. Yes. Not in this die, rest assured. It isn't cursed, I can tell you what it does. Fantastic. Can the witch entity tell you what the cursed die does then? Too bad. I'm going to tell you anyway. Oh, now I'm evil too? Lovely.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. How strange. Well, if you're interested, my rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use. Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you here this late. What can I help you with? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Hello again. You must really like walking through the dark. What can I help you with?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. So what kind of die are you looking for?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus, more or less. Are you interested in anyone specific? It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Good call. The one with an empty name card. It's the last one in the list. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Oh, right. But did this person say anything? Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kid playing a prank on you? I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. Ah, the Seminese trinkets, of course. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seem to be chronically liberal with their schedules. I had a feeling. Come on now. Be a little creative. Oh, what are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. I believe these dice are your lucky charm, officer. Now, was there anything else? The salty investors. Well, yes, they couldn't get the project done on time, and thus lost the funding. Of course they left it plugged in. Even in death, the bear is costing them money. Excellent. That will be 10 real for one set of magnetic dice. Very good. That will be 7 real for one custom die. Sure. Now can the entity explain what your cursed die does? And what technique is that? Officer, this isn't how mature adults deal with their feelings. The air pressure told you to take your pants off in my studio? Gladly. Oh, yes. You mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. And so it's producing something extraordinary. Nothing really. I didn't know him. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. I'm listening. Anything else? You're right. It looks like you haven't let anyone near your hair in a long time. I guess it just wasn't the time yet. Me neither. I just want it off my face. And what? Does it mean that I'm safe from failure? Does it mean that I'm safe from failure? Do you know what this is? It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. No, you're right, I didn't. It wasn't just the jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney? Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer. You mean the curse that I'm spared of because I live outside its immediate reach? I thought we agreed that the curse isn't real. I'm listening. Excuse me? A 2mm hole in reality? This can't be true. Sona is involved in this? What? You came all the way up here to tell me that you can't tell me because I won't like the answer? So it's even worse than I thought. It's not just the commercial area that's cursed, it's the entire world. You mean considering the fact that the world is collapsing on my porch? Just Martinez? In any case, thank you for stopping by. It's good to have an answer even if I can't claim to understand it fully. A curse is something superstitious, but a 2mm hole in reality? We all know what it means. It's pale. It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East of the Commerce Central project. Is that what you think, officer? That the curse is real? Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity? What, so the curse only affects people with poor work ethics? What you're describing isn't a curse. It's capitalism. I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real? Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? Is it now? I've always thought it's a rather mundane and boring place with no supernatural surprises in sight. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, let me know. So I'm the grand dragon in the cave. Might I ask what supports this claim? Ethereal? Thank you, but I think it's just the lighting. Of course you do. Show me a person in Martinez who doesn't have any tragedies in their past and then we'll talk. I am responsible for making sound business decisions, yes, but not for my fellow tenants' misfortune. Of course. How convenient. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know. Oh my, I've revealed myself. You better call the exorcists. What's that? A union for clairvoyance? They have unions for everything nowadays. Yes, I figured. I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. My advice: don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, florography, trick-track, especially pinball. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds. Sure, I'm listening. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. I'm still convinced it was nothing more than some elaborate prank. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work, but sure. What do you want to know? Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. If you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know. Yes, I've heard it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure. Before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice: don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, florography, trick-track, especially pinball. Yes, I guess so. The arcade is an ancient failure. Before my time. I'm not surprised, however. We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milius. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Yeah, don't. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. People do that. I believe the ICP got them. They have a special division that deals exclusively with sub-rosas. In any case, I don't think it's your job to worry about what happens on milius. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Things like that are better forgotten. Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess. The usual, I imagine, that he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. Maybe, but Slipstream's history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. That's what I thought. Because when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep up new businesses and so on. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. I'm not talking just about women. There were also men. Miniature gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear. The bear. As if they didn't already have the bear. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Pranks can be eerie. Oh no, not the zipper. The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball. I don't know this guard, but something tells me he won't. Anything else I can help you with? It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people. I've grown crafty over the years. You'll like your dice if you get them from me. Be sure of it. I've grown crafty over the years. You'll like your dice. I'm sure of it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be. You can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. I guess the least I can do is check up on Sona, see how she's doing.